4 other objects with different shapes separated from the main one.
Jafari's F4 and the Bry object engaged in a cat and mouse chase. Jafari pursued the main UFO. A second object suddenly came out from the UFO.
Whenever they were close to me, my weapons were jammed.
We lost communication, and I heard nothing from the pilots.
Flying phenomenon or objects, I don't know what they are. But we've established one thing: they exist.
Our pilots have been seeing these things for decades.
Their sightings go all the way back to the 40s and 50s and 60s.
We have a report of an unidentified aircraft south of the field.
There have been hundreds of sightings in Westchester, Dutchess, and Putnam counties.
Anything that enters an airspace that's not supposed to be there is a threat.
It used to be that the burden of proof was on the true believer. They saw something, prove it. Now the burden of proof has shifted to the government. Now they have to prove that they don't come from perhaps another universe beyond ours.
We get reports every night.
I don't know what the hell it is. It looks like a rotating light around it.
The incident occurred in September 1976 in Tehran, the capital city of Iran, where multiple fighter jets intercepted a strange bright object outside the city. During the chase, the pilot experienced unexplainable equipment failure, communication failure, and instrument failure whenever they near the UFO. And even a weapon system went dead just as one pilot tried to fire at the UFO. This incident was witnessed by thousands of people in Tehran, and this case has become one of the strangest and one of the most well-documented cases in UFO history. Around 10:30 p.m., an air traffic controller at Mehrabad airport received numerous calls from civilians who saw a luminous object glowing red, yellow and orange that seems to split into two. Mehrabad main radar was down for maintenance, so the controller went outside with binoculars. Binoculars? You know that thing you can watch far? Binoculars. Binoculars. He saw an object hovering about 6,000 feet high with blue lights on each end and a rotating red light in the middle, appearing to change shape constantly and even vanish and reappear in an instant. Around the same time, several commercial airlines also reported seeing the same object. Around 12:30 a.m., the controller called the Imperial Iranian Air Force and spoke to General Nadar Yusuf, who was IIAF Deputy Commander of Operations at Shahrokhi Air Force Base, and asked them to send the F-4 Phantom to check what's going on with this object. Lieutenant Ladi Nazari flew an F-4 jet towards Tehran. Nazari could already see the bright object from about 70 miles away. According to Nazari, he saw the UFO as extremely bright, easily visible, and radiating intense violet, orange, and white light. So this is the part where story gets more crazy, where we'll get more facts. When the jet got within 25 nautical miles of the object, all of its instrument and radio communication failed immediately.
The pilot in the first jet lost instrumentation and communication when he got too close to the brilliant object.
Nazari broke off the intercept and turned away for his safety. Immediately, his navigation and radio came back to life, low on fuel and basically blinded. The first F-4 abandoned the mission and returned to base. He was like, brother, enough for today. I am No coming back here, enough. Around 1:40 a.m., 10 minutes after the first attempt, a second F-4 was ordered to check the object. This jet was piloted by Major Pazir Zafari, an IIAF squadron commander, with his radar intercept officer. As Jafar got closer to the UFO, his radar officer was able to get a radar lock on the UFO at roughly 27 nautical miles away. The radar return was massive, as if the UFO were the size of a Boeing 707 tanker. So basically, it's like a pretty big plane. According to Jafar, he saw a flashing light with intense red, green, orange, and blue lights.
I approached the object, which was flashing with intense red, green, orange, and blue. The light was so bright that I was not able to see its body.
Jafari also mentioned in his report that every time the UFO tried to close within 25 nautical miles, the UFO jumped about 27 miles to maintain the distance.
Imagine, when I was looking here at about 70 miles out, and he jumps all of a sudden 10 degrees to my right. In this angle, 10 degrees, this part which it was traveling becomes about 26.7 miles per moment.
Chasing south of Tehran, Jafari's F-4 and the bright object engaged in a cat and mouse chase, with the UFO seemingly toying with the interceptor. Now the story gets even more interesting. While Jafari pursued the main UFO, a second object suddenly came out from the UFO. Jafari described that the new object was a bright, round orb about half to one-third the size of full moon, and it came straight at his F-4 at high speed. As the smaller object closed in, Jafari prepared to defend himself. He armed an AIM-9 heating missile and attempted to get a lock. My man is a fighter, ready to throw some bombs. At that very moment, his weapon control panel went dead and he lost all communication, both radio and intercom. Basically, his missile system and radios shut down the instant he tried to fire.
12 miles. We lost communication and I heard nothing from the pilots. So I was so scared what's going to happen and what happened to the pilots.
With no way to fight, Jafari broke off. He took a hard turn to avoid the incoming orb. The bright orb then pulled up and tailed in behind the F-4 for a few miles distance. Then it flew around and rejoined the original UFO easily. Once the small object left, Jafari's jet system came back online, just like what happened to the first pilot.
It didn't work and the trigger was inoperative. They couldn't shoot the missiles.
Soon after, Jafari and his backseater, as well as the controller, watching from Mehrabad, saw another bright object drop from the main UFO and drop quickly down to Earth. The object slowed down and landed gently on ground. After landing, it cast a big glow that extended an area of roughly 2 to 3 kilometers, making the night look like a day. Jafari later said that the glow was so bright that it affected their night vision when they flew closer.
One of the separated objects landed in an open area, radiating a high bright light in which the sands on the ground were visible.
With fuel running low, Jafari was instructed to break off and return to the base at Tehran. But as you know, the drama was far from over. The F-4 had another communication failure, outage of radio and navigation at the same spot near the city where the interference had happened earlier. A commercial airline at that time also reported losing communication in the area, but its crews didn't see anything unusual. While going back to base, Jafari's crew noticed yet another object in the sky, a cylindrical shape with bright steady lights at the end and a flashing light in the middle. This object flew over their jet. Ground crew also saw this cylindrical shaped UFO between the mountains and a refinery north of Tehran. The object quickly disappeared from the view. Give my man Jafari a break from aliens today. he had enough of aliens today. According to the reports, the original glowing UFO hovered over Tehran for hours. According to the control tower supervisor, around 4 a.m., the main UFO went straight up and disappeared from the view. In next few hours, there were several reports from across the region of a strange light. For example, flight crews of 2 Portuguese airlines, one departing Lisbon and one over the Mediterranean, described seeing a bright blushing object moving around at unexplained speed. And around this time, authorities in Morocco also received a flood of UFO reports from across the country. Witnesses described a silver bright ball-shaped object traveling across the sky. Whether these were just coincidences or somehow related to Tehran incident remains debated, but the timing was crazy. After sunshine on September 19, just hours after the chase, the Iranian Air Force dispatched a helicopter crew including Jafar and his weapons officer to search the lake bed where the object appeared to have landed, though they found nothing. They detected a strong beeper signal concentrated over a small house with a garden. The residents there said that earlier that morning they had heard a loud noise and saw a bright light. The 1976 Tehran UFO incident remained one of the most compelling and well-documented UFO encounters in military history. It involved multiple credible witnesses, including experienced fighter pilots, radar operators, and air traffic controllers. And what about those thousands of people who saw the UFO playing with the jet? The official response from both Iranian and US military and intelligence communities were serious and urgent, but still inconclusive. On the other hand, some experts often point out bright lights could have been planets like Jupiter, which was notably bright in the sky at that time, or it can be meteor showers, which could explain the fast-moving objects and the sudden appearance and disappearance of the UFO. Or despite so deep investigation, no physical evidence of a UFO was ever recovered. What do I think about these two cases? Doesn't matter, brother, because I made this video for you guys to decide. So thank you for watching this video. Subscribe to this channel, like this video, and comment on the video what topic you want me to cover next. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
I've been giving you the worst. Now you wanna stay the night. Pity how you weren't caught for me, but forgetting how to talk. Nah, I don't like no humbug.